everybody, to the Breachers VRML Season 2, Week 2. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster, Martini, in today's adventure into the top tier on the second week. Aspect versus Restart. Martini, what are your thoughts on this matchup this afternoon?
You know, I was just checking out the lineup between these two teams and recently how they previously played. You know, Restart and Aspect, obviously no strangers to master tiered games. They're big teams, right? But A3 in particular is very much one of those top tier teams that people it's just ones that you keep an eye on, right? And especially I believe they came off a game last week with Acer, and it was such a tight game. They did lose, but it was still a tight game. And that's definitely a lot to ask for a team like Restart. You know, we all know Acer plays such a good game, and for A3 to showcase that they have the chops to really hold themselves against Acer, that means Restart has to have the same level of gameplay. Otherwise, I'm probably expecting this to work out in A3's favor.
Yeah, well, A3 will need a full 5 to really battle against Restart. And right now, behind the scenes, we're still waiting for this lobby to populate. And then we will be ready to dive into this afternoon's matchup. So you're going to have to be patient with us, as we already are on a bit of a delay getting into the lobby here, but it's all okay. The action is just around the corner. It is going to be top tier. And there may be, I don't know, is Bob's match still going right now? Gibula Bob may still be casting.
I think it's about to finish up. Like, it's about to finish up, probably. Because yeah.
Well, then you can catch the end of that while we wait for this lobby to fill up, and then come back over here and dive in with us again into some diamond tier teams. These teams, Aspect, like you said, coming in since season 0. So definitely a lot of experience there on that squad. They are a bit of a different roster. They've had some additions, some subtractions in to their main staple roster there, and so I'm very interested to see how season 2 is going to unfold for them. I think, what is their... Yeah, I think they're only... neither team has taken a challenge yet, but Restart has won both of their maps in pretty commanding fashion, 7-2, 7-2 in their first series. Aspect, again, getting that full tie, Martini, 6-6, 6-6, 6-6, all the way down. That was a incredible start to the season from this squad, and well, we wanted to follow up to see how they do on their second matchup of the week. Again, Acer certainly a the toughest opponent, right? But
I mean, what is it? Two finals they have underneath their belt now at this point. I know preseason is definitely a smaller season, but preseason's still nothing to kind of balk at. There's some top tier teams that were in preseason, and especially getting a season 1 championship. You're now in a full season. You had to last a whole 13 weeks on the ladder, and still went out the grand finals. And we saw some crazy gameplay. I mean, RIP to F3 and Formula 3, but one of the cool standout teams, I think. Because a lot of people had unexpected expectations. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's besides the point. I remember Acer and A3 was like the big expectation grand finals. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out. But that's because A3 is that kind of team. People really expect them to play well. And that's why I'm kind of worried for Restart. You know, I'm not going to say that they had a whole, off season to really practice and work things out. And it worked out very well. They played against, let me check it out. I think it was Vanguard. And they won pretty decisively. I mean, they won it in 14-2. And the Vanguard's not a team that can say is easy either. They were one of the teams. Were they in the grand finals? I forgot. But they're definitely one of those teams that plays amongst the top 10 or 15 even in the previous season. So if they can do so well against them, maybe they have just enough skill to be able to push against A3 and potentially get a couple, I think, rounds under their belt. I'm hoping. If not, maybe win a map. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like we're having some technical issues on the players' side. So again, we apologize for that delay. We did try and kind of pad out that intermission or the intros because we knew this was coming, but we now run into some additional blockers. So do bear with us as those players sort out whatever is preventing them from being able to join into the lobby, and then we should. Oh, maybe it's a whole game thing.
Yeah, my game just shut down because is it loading for you?
I'm loaded back in, but there's very few lobbies that are up right now.
Oh no, there might have been. Oh no.
Had a kind of a
Yeah, I have to restart my game. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think we've had some issues in the past with lobbies breaking from time to time. Hopefully we won't have that be a continued trend, but it does look like we are back in operation, and hopefully all the players can join this one, and then we can jump into the action when they are ready. I will give them the ready up, and we should be getting into map number 1 here shortly. It does look like map number 1 is going to be, well, we're not quite sure yet, waiting on that first vote before we dive in. But we do almost have a full lobby here, so I do think we've sorted out those tech issues, and we should be able to finally get started in this top tier diamond matchup. Again, a very anticipated matchup, much like that Acer one was. And we've already had some upsets this week. Just yesterday, the match I cast had I think a 54-14 connoisseur vote ratio, and the connoisseurs were very wrong against I think it was Veni Vidi Vici versus V2, version 2, and I believe that Triple V's ended up winning that matchup in 2 maps. So
battle the V's, I like that.
yeah, I know, yeah, there's a lot of V's that afternoon, but yeah, so it's the connoisseurs got to be a little bit more careful about piling on to one side or the other. I mean, I think that's a common trend you'll see in the voting system, is that everyone will end up voting where the most popular vote is, you know, and very rarely do you see like an even split on the overall votes, because so often does one side end up gaining momentum and then the other ends up voting on it, you know. So
I know, I've seen it way too many times. I'm like, what are you even like guessing on? And I feel like as a caster, you see a lot of games, and especially if you watch the cast, you see a lot of, you know, games, and especially these specific teams, how they play. But I do think you get a good kind of understanding of who can play what. But some of these votes, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know if I would vote for that team, or I'm gonna be honest, like if I think it's too close, I just don't vote, because I don't think you can vote draw, right? Because that's just not likely to happen. It's too risky, right? And I think last season I was a little more careful about my connoisseur votes, because I really did try to do well. I think I got like top 15, I forgot. So I was trying to get there, didn't quite work out. But this, I got 9th place.
Okay,
but
very nice.
yeah. This season, I'm like, I don't have time. I don't have time to stare, because you have to really stare at these games. I'm like, well, you know, which are they likely to win based off of their other match history? It's funny. Being a connoisseur is funny. I'll say that. I did try it for a season, and I thought it was fun. It was fun.
Well, maybe Bob's articles are going to help the voting system a little bit too. If you haven't checked those out already, Bob's been doing some great weekly highlights of each week, and recapping roster changes and stuff. It's a really cool little addition there to the start of each week, and I hope Bob can keep the momentum going. I know a lot of people have been enjoying it, but yeah, we're very excited to. Gosh, I told them to start like 5 times already, but they're doing some sort of ritual and circling around the starting beacon. I don't know what the particular holdup is. As again, I've tell them again to go, and it does look like we are finally ready after. Apologies, 12-minute delay on the regular start time. We will be getting into map number 1 here on Arctic. We got Aspect on the defense, Restart on the attack for map number 1. And I love to see the Arctic map getting tossed in here right away into this matchup. It was, I think, also the first map in the Acer series as well. And so, you know, Aspect's definitely a team familiar with this map, and I gotta assume that Restart's done their homework and watched that first matchup of the season against Acer.
I mean, I literally just came off of cast of Arctic, and I'm just excited to see how these top tier teams play on Arctic. It's still, again, it's the first map, the new map this season, and it's exciting to see how these teams decide to approach it. And I feel the same way as I do with Ship. I think because these are new maps, the strategy is still developing, and now that there's another map already thrown in on this upcoming season, and now there's bans. It'll be interesting to see if teams decide to really specialize on certain maps and really focus on them just a little bit more in hopes that they can choose them and really, fight against other teams. But that's what I'm excited to see on Arctic, how these teams hold it down.
Yeah, I do wonder what that other map ban was then. If Arctic managed to get through, maybe it was Skyscraper or Ship that got culled out of the options for the afternoon. But yeah, it is fun to have that diversity in map choice now, as opposed to just the guaranteed 3 maps that we were going to be playing, every series. There's that variety now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that variety continue to grow over the seasons. More maps getting added, more utility. Angel finding 2 kills, surprising the entry hatch there, and able to drop back down to reinforce the defense before anyone on restart can do anything about it. 2 down out the gate, and Aspect are off to a good start.
I mean, I was kind of shocked. It looked like Restart was expecting a roamer. They had someone lined up kind of watching that corner, but I guess they just weren't watching it that late, or maybe A3 was just really ready for that roaming play. And I feel like they might have done their homework, because they almost fully expected 1, maybe not 2 players, but they were able to fight back both players. Anyways, Breach is coming live on his little hallway now, trying to get this push in on B side now, with A3 doing their best to hold it back down. But I mean, with Restart having 3 players up, it's going to be a hard push and probably a little bit of a long battle. Some shots are going out, but nothing quite getting a kill yet from this push.
Just buying time with 1:15 left on the clock, and Solo tucking in. They have B nicely held down. They've got 2 actually watching this long angle. Old Gravy is also able to spring up and help defend this hallway if they do decide to push it. Solo could also swing the short corner if they so choose. Angel defends. F-Shy trying to swing from the other entryway. Now Hope Clifford's going to try and rotate around and do the job. Down will go Maestro to some good shots from Grouchy Gizmo. It leaves just Hope Clifford alone in a 1v5. Aspect coming in strong. Hey, there's at least a kill on the board in round 1 for the Restart squad.
I mean, I would almost say decisive win at this point, but we're seeing a 3-man push here. I wonder if Hope Clifford can at least take down 1 more person. That was really good trigger discipline there. I'm surprised that Hope did not get any shots off there, but I think the team decided to PLA, probably deciding it's probably not worth throwing another life at this one, because you got to remember, staying alive is also really good economy-wise. Right now, they don't have to buy another Spectral coming into the upcoming round. That saves them just that much more money going into potentially round 3, and give them a lot more on that utility. Anyways, it is counting down, giving A3 that win on that first round, which, that first pistol round, it sometimes seems like a wash, but getting that win is really good for economy in terms of being able to get that advantage.
Yeah, it's a solid opener there for Aspect, and look, it's hard to deal with 1 tie in a series, you know what I mean? But to have an entire series filled with ties, that's going to scar you as a team. You know what I mean? And so they're coming in to this map, this series, determined to avoid the tie, and they certainly start strong here with the pistol round, like you said, on defense no less. I feel like it's a much stronger advantage when you secure those pistol rounds on defense. You're able to buy into what we're seeing here with 3 rifles, I think, on this round on the Aspect side, which certainly risky, but hey, it's really going to give you a strong advantage against the full pistol set of the Restart squad. Restart is bringing grenades, though, and I think that may be one element that Aspect obviously has to watch out for. It's why they're bringing the grenades specifically to get rid of the rifles and have some kind of fighting chance against those rifles.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good bet, I think, for A3, considering that they had, I believe, 4 players up in that previous round, which means, considering 3 Bezins, they just need to have, these players next to other ones, so that even if they die, they can be picked up, right?
Drone identifies 1 defender tucked in, and it allows for Clifford to drop down. Does take some damage from Solo, though, and Solo does take down that drone. Does get identified and does catch Hope Clifford down on that far corner. They'll rotate back to defend on B site. And where is the rest of this offense? They're not crashing down together. Then they've opened up a hatch, but that's it so far.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Restart's taking a little bit longer of an attack. Maybe they're trying to be very methodical, because to your point, potentially fighting against 3 Vezins, you want to see if you can hold it out. Never mind, Angel on the back end, they're getting a shot off on Can I say fishy or just F shy? I don't know. It kind of makes me
fishy.
think F shy. Yeah, right. I'm thinking like fishy, F shy, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, 3 players left now on restart side. It was such a low kind of wind up, and I think it didn't work out in their favor, unfortunately. But I mean, again, playing against those Vezins is not something that I would be wanting to do. But I think some of the early round picks were from Spectral, so it wasn't even because of that economy advantage. It was just good placement from A3.
Not sure what Restart's plan is for the rest of the round. With a minute and a half left, they've rotated down to that bottom floor, and maybe they're going to be trying to push up through the stairs. Vibey catches a kill through the window on the Grouchy Gizmo, and there's that forward observer getting picked off finally. But certainly worth it. 1 for 2 overall, and still some aggressive setups here with Solo and Old Gravy waiting for Vibey to drop down that hatch. It's not going to be an easy drop down to push this objective. And again, only a minute left on the clock. So the other duo, Shimmy and Maestro, need to work their way up just a touch faster so that Vibey has some time to drop down into this hatch. But it is all going to be about that timing.
I know, but we gotta watch this long angle right now from Angel. I think Angel's definitely ready to get some shots off here. I don't know if they saw Shimimaru, unfortunately, there as they just barely missed him walking across, but Angel's just really trying to see this long angle. And I think Restart might be trying to combine these two, maybe like meet up with Vibe to get some kind of push set up. Or Vibe's just gonna be on the back end flanking on their own, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, the breach going live right now for Restart as they come in on A site. Just not quite. Never mind. Just getting a pick off there on Shimi Marui. They were not ready for that. And Maestro getting picked off themselves. At this point, I'm wondering, where is Vibey? What happened? They might have been really out of position now as they are now swinging into kitchen.
1v3, Solo cleans it up, and Aspect start in a dominant fashion in their first 2 rounds on defense here. This is definitely how you want to open things up, and now we go into our first full buy round, so Restart will be able to pick up some guns. But let's take a look at the scoreboards so far on the afternoon. You'll see that Restart have not found many kills in these early rounds. Only 2 on the board overall. That means there's very little cash across their entire economy, and it does mean that if they're going to invest this round, they have very light rifles. They're not likely to be fully kitted rifles here, and you're looking at the economies of everybody on that Restart team, Martini, and it is very close to 0.
I mean, to your point, like I was checking out the dashboard myself, and it looks like there's 3 players on A3 that haven't died once. And again, not dying is a huge economy advantage. Yeah. I think more so than getting kills or maybe not round wins, but getting kills, because that's 1 less Vezin to buy. Remember, last round they had 3 Vezins up already. That means they don't have to buy 3 more Vezins, and that's a huge economy advantage for them. And obviously that's going to be working out for them, I think, in the upcoming rounds.
Let's see what the Restart squad is able to muster together here on the full buy. Angel is tucked into a tight corner position. Has the rifle tucked in as well. Doesn't want to expose that VRML finalist skin around the corner. Otherwise, Vibey or Shimi Marui would definitely know they're tucked in, so they're very notably tucking their rifle away and preventing it from peeking around that corner. Grouchy Gizmo in a bit of a exchange on that bottom floor as we wait for Shimi Marui and this duo to swing in.
Ooh, and Solo getting a shot off on F-Shot in the back end there. I do not know how they were able to read that, but they were able to get a pick off. At this point, as Angel gets a pick off themselves. Never mind, a refrag from Vibey there on that long hallway. And there's a lot of fighting happening. I don't know if you noticed, off-site. Like, they're not even on the same floor yet. There's so much fighting happening between these 2 teams. These roamers are definitely getting a lot of value. And so are some of the later, like, further out players from Restart side. But still, it's a disadvantage right now for Restart coming to this upcoming round with a 3v4. Never mind, just getting another beautiful pick off there with the frag in the end. It's things are looking worse for Restart now.
I don't think they were even expecting that kill. Vibey able to pick up Solo, evens the odds just a touch as Solo was trying to rotate back up to the team. Vibey does go down from Old Gravy, shooting through the wall there, and it leaves Maestro alone. A 1v3 is not impossible, though, and at least they put some kills on the board. He has to finish putting the rest of that spray down before they open up the wall, and Grouchy Gizmo's here ready and waiting, but won't be able to spring the trap. Jess finds the kill in the long hallway, and Aspect with 3 left alive this time. Go up 3-0 and restart. At least putting some kills on the board on that full buy round, but still, it's looking like a dominant Arctic defensive set here for Aspect so far.
I know. I want to see what their study sessions look like. I want to see what their homework sessions look like, because it really looks like they did their homework. I mean, how many times just in that previous round alone did it almost feel like they knew exactly what the other team was going to do, or at least like what they're likely to do, and then be able to make something happen and get value out of that. There were several times they got picks that I don't know if you saw, like they weren't even on site yet. They weren't even on the same floor, but they were getting those picks. And I think that's what's struggling right now, probably on Restart side, is wondering, how does A3 know all these things? Like, do we need to switch up our plays even more? Do we need to be that much more unpredictable against a team like A3?
Yeah, I think at this stage you have to start reading your opponent and recognizing that Aspect is throwing these off-meta positions and getting aggressive on these upper floors even. And so Restart maybe just need to try and slow things down on the entry a little bit, because as they've swung in, they've ended up losing 1 or 2 pretty consistently. So maybe just be a little bit more patient, a little more thorough with the drone work. And we do see double drones coming in with Tauruses and pistols this time around as they enter into sight here, or at least the bottom floor, trying to clear out like they should and look for those roamers. This time, however, there isn't really a big roamer or anyone out of an off-meta position. Everyone's pretty tucked in around either A site or B site.
Yeah, they probably decided to adjust their strategy just a tad bit. I think they're still playing kind of aggressive, or at least extended from sites in like the kitchen and that little common room area. But anyways, I think Restart definitely mixing up how they're attacking, because they're now attacking, I think, on the opposite side how they were doing it in the previous round. And I mean, F-Shy getting a really deep peek in there. I didn't even know you could do that right there. But anyways, it does not matter. It's trying to get some kind of foothold right now on that 3rd floor. But this staircase is kind of proving to be a tough choke point right now for Restart, as I think they're trying to get their way in. But I mean, look at players like Jess getting beautiful wall bangs on that corner. I don't know if you see that pepper spray all over that wall, right where they're expecting Restart to be. I don't know. It's looking hard. They're struggling to get in here.
That's just good quality game knowledge right there, coming in and being incredibly effective. Really denying entry here for Restart. So what is the plan? Restart have a minute and a half left on the clock. They got to work their way up and inside, and Angel's starting to get aggressive, pushing out from their door blocker and looking for anyone that's lingering in any of these windows. It's pistols against a fully kitted defensive side here with rifles and Vezins and utility. Lots of smokes and frags on that defensive side. So even once the push starts to come in, they have quite a bit to deal with. But for now, at least, Respect is taking things a little bit slower. Solo does find one on the opposite side. The duo has split, and now it's a trio. There's at least 1 kill picked up on the stairs, but it's only 1. Look at how aggressive Aspect's starting to get. As soon as they see or identify the opponent, the entire team starts to try and collapse looking for those kills. They're thirsty for a high KD on this round. And what is the play? Vibey hasn't managed to pick up any rifles from any downed opponents. And now they're being denied entry by Old Gravy. They can't even vault off the side of the wall, or they'll be vulnerable to someone peeking out the window.
Yeah, it's definitely looking hard for Restart. I mean, again, look at how dominant A3 is doing. I mean, 4 players alive. I know that there's a huge economy disadvantage, but again, that just goes to showcase that A3 has really set themselves up in a really good spot, because again, economy-wise will be good. This is another round where 4 players don't need to buy a Vez, and I think they might be feeling a little confident too when you have players like Karachi Gizmo rocking a Knut there. I noticed like teams that get a little confident might be pulling out the shotgun.
I mean, the Knut is definitely. I think it's. We saw some relevance in it.
I've seen it. Yeah, I know. I've seen some. But I feel like it's such a high risk, high reward that like 2,200 versus like spending just an extra 700 for the Vezin is just more safe. It's more of a safe option, right? You still get the same 1-hit potential. You don't have to worry about getting all the shots in a very specific location. I mean, granted, it's the head, but it's just a little bit easier. Because Knut, there's also less. Once you make that first shot, it's got to hit. Otherwise, that follow-up is deadly, right? You might get shot out yourself, waiting for that reload to happen.
Yep.
So I don't know. I get what you're saying though. I know what you're saying. It's just I just feel like it's so risky that when people do it, it's because they're so confident in that round, I guess. And my point is just A3. All I'm feeling is probably confident. I mean, look at there's not just one, but there's 3, 4 players with 4 or 5K in the pockets. You know, it's just that's crazy.
Yeah, they're in dominant control here this afternoon in the early stages of this series. Who knows how things will get shaken up as we swap maps or even swap sides on a map like Arctic. You know, like we've been saying, I don't think there's any established meta for these maps yet. I don't really have any knowledge of preference to side. And if anything, I feel like Arctic may be one of the maps that's closest to a 50-50 split in terms of what's possible on either side. So I'm very curious to see that how Aspect looks when we swap sides, and if their attacking set looks as strong as this defensive set. But for now, at least, we're going into a partial buy approach for Restart, and they finally worked their way into the top floor.
Yeah, finally. I mean, we saw. I think it was this round where they're attacking the second floor, but man, they were getting nailed on. I believe the third and first floor. Like they were being so. The Romans were so deep. They were attacking them on totally different floors, and they were winning. So they just had such deep roamers doing so well against Restart that it's kind of shocking to see A3 do so well. Like they're really dictating a lot of kind of the flow of the game and how things are being performed here. That I just got to give credit to A3. It's just amazing. Anyways, Grouchy Gizmo is coming up the staircase, and Maestro just gets a little clip off there. They might be playing a little aggressive there because they got that shotgun in hand. I think they're trying to get a peek off here. Playing a little cheeky here, but I know they can afford to. But two, never mind. Maestro getting that pick off finally. Maybe a little too aggressive from Grouchy Gizmo, but like I said, that confidence with that shotgun, I'm not shocked, right?
I mean, they've stuck a aggressor out into that front line for almost every round so far. So it's nice to see Restart able to finally pick that person off. And now Solo here, still trying to hold down this hallway push, but there's a nice smoke from Maestro that allows this advancement up. The audio transmitter giving away a lot of info that Solo ends up working off of nicely, and they really can't get their way up through this hallway. It's well held right now, and Old Gravy also waiting for that cross. May swing the short corner and doesn't find the shots. Maestro with a nice clean pickup finds the headshots onto Gravy, and back to objective we go as the duo on the backside, F-Shy and Hope Clifford, start to rotate into A.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we're seeing it finally, some sort of advantage. Never mind, they just got, oh my goodness, a 3-piece there from A3 side. Now come down to Hope Clifford on the back end there. I think never mind, Angel finishes that one off, giving A3 another round win. I was just about to say, Restart for the first time having a win, like an advantage player-wise, and then A3. Wow, that was a beautiful, I think, 3-piece. Right when I said that. Yeah.
Take a look at the KDs, and again, Restart still not finding a lot, but the last few rounds they have at least put some cash into their pockets with some kills. A total of 7 kills. The kill leader of Angel has more with 9 on the side of Aspect. Angel really doing a lot of work over on that Aspect side. 6 for Solo, but then, I mean, Old Gravy with 2, I think.
Yeah, I mean, got players like deaths, right? They have zero deaths, and that's just amazing to me because that means they've literally not tied once, and they've been able to buy probably 1 Vezin for the last 5 rounds. Think about that. Or like last 4 rounds, right? With that round 2, just crazy. I don't know. A3 is just doing such a good job against Restart. I'm curious to see if Restart can do something on the defending side, just something. Otherwise, this might be a short series. Who knows?
Could be a short series, or at the very least, a short opening map on Arctic. Still at least 1 more map left. If Aspect have anything to say about it, it'll only be 1. But Restart really want to get a point here. It's the final round of the first half, and 1 point's going to get the foot in the door. Old Gravy is going to get pinched soon enough if they don't drop back from that corner position. And they heard Shimimaro and Maestro dropping down, so they definitely are aware of this threat down here on this main floor. But Gravy nicely drops back and will be able to tuck back into the defensive position here while the rest of this Restart team sets up. No real kills just yet, though. Well, everyone's still alive in the first minute down.
Yeah, I would say a pretty, I wouldn't say quiet round. I know there's a lot of shooting there, but quiet round in the sense of nothing really quite trading yet. I'm curious to see how Gratitude Gizmo on that back end is going to get some potential roamer value there. But right now, it's definitely a slow, methodical push right now from Restart. Definitely a little bit more of a, I think, better push than some of the other pushes we've seen on this third floor in particular. But we haven't quite seen them push against A3's players yet, as they kind of got some contact, but they're not really, attacking them yet. So I'm excited to see how they push out, how A3 decides to defend against Restart. But finally, I think a pretty solid set. Never mind, by getting a shot off on solo there, as they were not expecting the player to be hiding. I think they had a cloak on too. They're probably hiding up there. Definitely unexpected. Old Grave trying to hold down this hallway against, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4 players. I'm surprised they're still alive, and there has been some pinch. And and Bobby on the back end getting Karachi Gizmo. I don't know. This is looking a little bit tighter for A3 side as they got now 2 players down against Restart.
Minute left, and the wall's finally open. Jess and Angel are here, ready and waiting. If anything, impatiently, as Angel was juggling, I think, again there. But as the wall gets opened, immolation nades come in, utility comes through, Jess finds a shot through the smoke. Grady with a nice shot just over the corner of it, and Aspect's holding things down, even the odds to a 3v3 now.
I mean, I was just talking about how they finally got an advantage here, but again, A3 just does a beautiful job at knocking down those players regardless of the player disadvantage here. And I think that's what's struggling right now with Restart, is just not utilizing that player advantage correctly. As things have been working out, I think, well for A3 side, regardless of the amount of players that they have on their side. And here's what we saw. We just saw a push that was working out so well for Restart get, stopped to a halt, right? Especially with that beautiful smoke coming out. And Old Gravy holding down his corner right now. It's looking a little tough.
They have to move in here. They have to push in. The defense is doing a great job buying time. And I think time may be the decider here as the trio swings in. And it's not. Maestro clutches it. They don't go for the EMP plan to stop that clock. They go for the kills. An interesting approach, but they find their one round on the attack, Martini. And that looked pretty good. That was as patient as you can get on the Restart side there.
I was like... Restart started pushing, didn't quite work out. Things kind of got pushed back, and I thought that was it. I thought they were going to hold it down, and that was it for them. But no, they were able to make another consolidated push, and probably A3 wasn't expecting that because they probably thought, hey, it's literally like 20 seconds left in the round. It's probably ours. As we're holding a pretty strong, advantage against these players. But no, Maestro coming in again with a beautiful clutch. At least giving them one round in the pocket. But it's still going to be an uphill battle. But they are defending.
Yeah, we swap sides, we reset economies, and we go into the back half of Arctic. And on a lot of maps, there tends to be a preferred side on that map. I think it changes from objective to objective on some maps, or really on every map, really. But, I think... it's my impression that, the Triangle Factory team want to make their maps as balanced as possible. And their goal is to have maps that are 50-50, 3-3s in the first half more often than not, versus having a, preferential side, which is obviously what you would want out of a competitive shooter, right? You want the most even playing ground you can get so that you're really testing the skill. And the skill getting tested here already as Aspect finds an early kill, and nade tossed in, doesn't connect. And the quick push here from Aspect there, definitely trying to keep the foot on the gas and set the pace here for the attack.
I mean, I'm talking pressure, right? They 1, 2 piece, 3 piece there. Angel with beautiful Taurus shots. Now come down to Bybee on the back end as they were trying to get a push in here. Never mind. Never mind. There was a team kill, but Jess is able to finish it up. Does not matter. But look at the amount of players still alive on A3's side. I mean, another round with 4 players alive. I know it's a pistol round, but again, that's more of an even round. And it's still worked out so well in A3's favor.
Yeah, I think the pistol rounds are always really like the great equalizer round, and it really shows you a team's sort of style and strategy in a lot of interesting ways. I think what we saw there from Aspect is just how good their coordination is and how confident they are when they all push together, especially with pistols. Obviously, 2 heads is better than 1, and if you can get your whole squad together to roll through, you really can overwhelm even a Taurus user. Sure, a Taurus can find headshots, but it's got a fire rate that's not that fast. You know, if you barrel in with a couple of pistols, you can overwhelm someone with that Taurus. And we saw some, I mean, ultimately just very good coordination from Aspect on that push. Everyone tied together and pushing in through that door and the side door. Well, you know, that's the idea. That's the idea of an attack, is you overwhelm your opponent, and they did it quite perfectly against Restart there. We go into it could be the final round of for Arctic here, as Aspect on the attack with everybody except for Grouchy Gizmo holding rifles in their hands.
I mean, they are putting it all in on this one round. 4 Vezins in hand against Restart. They're probably, 1, confident, 2, really just trying to win this one out so they can just finish this 7-1, right? They saw Restart, they can get a win against A3, so they know it's not impossible to lose another round to them. Granted, it's likely that A3 is going to win, but they just don't want to give up those points, right? It's going to affect their MMR. They want to just get this done as probably as soon as possible, and really I think for them, is them showing how well of a team they are. How dominant can they be against these other teams that are playing at high levels, right? And showcase that, hey, we're like an Acer team. We're one that can really hold up. And to be able to beat us is a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be an uphill battle. And that's what we saw. That's what I saw in their first attacking round. That was never mind. A beautiful trip mine out there from Shimi Marui, knocking out just a big player on A3 side. But still, not the worst thing. We've seen them down a couple players and still come back.
Yeah, holding down the site so far pretty nicely. They've got Omens in hand. And everyone tucked in around B and A, the trio here. Ready and waiting for Grouchy and Angel to try their hands at pushing in and not getting over aggressive. This can have its fair share of risks. If you allow a team like Aspect to get comfortable outside of the objective, they will assess all of the angles and eventually orchestrate a solid plan of approach. As Old Gravy picks off one solo, scoops up another. B site starts to open up.
Yeah, and
big pickup there. Nice scoop up from Angel, and Shy's alone now in a 1v5 Aspect. They're gonna lock this one in commanding fashion. 7-1 on Arctic. And like you said, Martini, I think, you know, I mean, consider Aspect went and tied against Acer in every map they went up against them. You know, 3 maps in a row they tied. That's very hard to do. With how well Acer played over the course of last season into the postseason, that's something that I think maybe got kind of lost because it was a full tie. That was sort of the main storyline, but really it's the opponents and how well Aspect did against Acer. It means that if you're going to go up against Aspect, you have to bring the same fire you would bring up against Acer, and that was always a challenge over the course of Season 1. So I think Aspect are in a great spot right now, not to continue to compare them, because quite frankly, I think Aspect could be superior this season. They're looking very good here in these early maps. And, well, it's going to be a developing rivalry over time for sure. We'll have to see how Acer plays for their second matchup of the week. Maybe they've already played it. We can dig up those stats, but still, this Aspect team is coming into Season 2 with a lot of energy, to say the least. I mean, this is how you definitely, like I said, after all the ties, after 3 ties in a row, you gotta get the taste of a win. You know, and, well, they've definitely done it in a very commanding fashion. 7-1 on Arctic. What does Restart do for Map 2? Well, we'll have to patiently wait and see what their choice is for that second map. And while we wait, a quick shout-out to everyone hanging by. I do appreciate you all stopping in and enjoying the action. Please do hit that thumbs up button or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We do a lot of content here on this YouTube channel. We'll do highlight reels probably coming up soon, and obviously lots of live streams, as we had, I think today, 3 streams, 3 games broadcast between 5 and 6:30, all live. So you know, there's plenty of cast to tune into and catch over the course of the regular season, and we just started Season 2 here. We're only into the 2nd week, and well, I suppose coming up on the end of week 2, but a good end to tune into with these top tier teams. Again, a reminder of who you're watching. It is Aspect versus Restart. Restart and Aspect, both former Diamond teams, I think, in Season 1. And coming in, trying to repeat that level of success is not going to be an easy task for Season 2, Martini. We haven't even talked about it at all today, but there is the whole hype, and especially on the North American side, of VRMLCon 2024.
Yep.
There is the LAN at stake in this season. You know, you want to come through the entire season at the top, because that's going to determine your seeding into the postseason. And I think there's still going to be a postseason that'll end up determining our 1 and 2 teams that'll advance on to the finals. So it's certainly a long road, but it starts, you know, yesterday, week 1, really. And both of these teams certainly started their week 1 off strong. And, well, it's up to Aspect to see if they can lock in the series as we get ready to dive into Map 2 on Hideout. Now, I had to transition into this quickly because the round's about to start, but you can get tickets for VRMLCon at vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. It'll give you all of the details about the event, gives you the hotel reservation link so you can get a discount on your hotel. And, yeah, prepare for an awesome community meetup and a fantastic season finals live on stage in Denver, Colorado. Into the action we go already, though, as RE.START are trying to set the pace and set the tone a little bit fast here like Aspect did last round. Angels here, but aggressive, and they'll find 1 kill, make it 2. Can they find a third? The nade comes in and forces them forward. They don't get Hope Clifford there, but what a good start. Again, sticking one of those defenders up on that top floor and catching him by surprise.
You know, I love seeing aggressive defenses. I saw that a lot from Acer, and I love that I'm seeing the same thing from Acer. I think people are realizing defense doesn't mean you have to be passive, because that's a very big difference between like being a very aggressive defender and a very passive defender. And I see that consistently from Nathan's side. Never mind, still getting some shots up, but Vibey there for the refrag potentially on the back end. But they were not, never mind. Hope Clifford dropping in to get a shot in on solo. And I hate jump hatches, but that was a beautiful jump hatch. I will acknowledge that. Now come down to Jess for a 1v2 now, seeing if they can watch a good angle. But Jess is just going to be hiding behind this bomb, waiting to see who decides to push first. But that EMP plant, I probably expect it to be coming out sometime soon. Looks like they are going in for it.
Ooh, almost catches them rotating off that bomb plant. Wall gets opened up, and now they got to worry about that Taurus. Can't afford to get one tapped by Hope Clifford, and so they have to push out. They'll try to catch Clifford on the rotation back, but time is ticking. The EMP has 40 seconds instead of a minute in Season 2. And a nice drop down, a nice rotation from Clifford. They find one on the stairs and try and swing out for Vibey, but Vibey times it nicely, tucks in and waits for them to advance out from their spot. Gets the identifier that they're out in the open and catches the kill. RE.START finally in the lead for the first time this series, and a good pistol round on the attack, no less, on Hideout. That's, I mean, what, like I said, it's the map was certainly over, but I don't know that the series is done quite yet, especially getting off of something fresh and going to something familiar like Hideout.
I know. I think that's why whoever chose Arctic probably threw it in to kind of mix things up and see how do both these teams play in Arctic, and that's why I was excited to see it. How do these teams play on a map that we haven't seen before? Hideout. At this point, we've seen them, these teams just drill into it and play it for now, not, preseason, a whole full Season 1, whatever else they do beyond that. It's been played down and hit into the dirt. And on top of that, I think it's one of the maps that are always chosen, or at least like mostly chosen. Like, it's probably one of the highest map pick rates. So everyone has played Hideout at some point to some degree that I just really know almost everything about the map. But even then, these teams sometimes do surprise me. I'll give them that. Sometimes they do still surprise me on a map like Hideout.
Swap sides there on the teams. Apologize for that. RE.START taking the lead 1-0, and Aspect leading the series 7-1 on that one. We'll have to see what RE.START do on the attack. They are investing into a double rifle buy, which does seem a little risky, especially on the attack. Usually you'll see one hero sort of pick up, but 2 rifles coming through. Means they're a little bit stronger, obviously, than that Aspect pistol side. Grouchy trying to hold down through the smoke, and the Taurus shots coming in. A nice nade that forces Grouchy out, but they're quickly able to rotate back in and tuck into the corner. A nice push up from Clifford through the smoke connects the Taurus, and they're off to the races. Angel, Aspect trying to swing out from the backside, and it's a full court press on the outside of B as they overwhelm half of the Aspect team or the Restart team trying to push in.
I mean, it's looking like a really good push right now from Restart, but A3 is putting a very, very solid defense with that flash going out wide and hitting a lot of those players now. Just simply get a shot off on Hope. Clifford now leaving me down to Bybee. Never mind, they get knocked down. Leaving me down to Shimi Maru, but they get knocked down by the 2-piece there. And wow, I thought another one of the Aspect players were going to go down, but they somehow survived it. Still the 3 out of it. I'm shocked.
Quickly sprinting around, salvaging the weapons of their opponents and coming out very on top. They get the cash out of the pockets of Restart and are able to full buy into their 3rd round. Restart, in comparison, only have 3 rifles that they can pick up, and they've really ended up squandering that early advantage. If they had only invested into 1 rifle, you'd see the 4 rifle, 1 pistol buy going into this round, but the extra risk, extra reward does not pay off for them on the attack, and well, it's a big economy reversal, to say the least. We'll have to see if Restart can bounce back, do some damage, where it's really the core idea for this round. Find some early picks and try and stop this Aspect team from getting aggressive on you, and really, ultimately, deny Old Gravy from being successful with their early garage push.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, again, Aspect has been doing such a good job of those deep roamers. They consistently get value, and I was expecting the same thing here from Old Gravy, but, I mean, look at Restart, how they're attacking. Looks like they might be trying to switch things up, potentially going in for an A push. I don't see A pushes too often from Hideout, but I do like seeing a team give a good shot at A, because it just doesn't happen often. So I want to see strong A pushes from these teams to really make it more of a common push, because that gym B-side push happens very consistently, you know, at the competitive level, especially at the higher level. But I think Restart realizes they have to mix something up here, because playing against a team like A3, they just have consistently been doing really well against Restart, and even then they had a economy disadvantage in the previous round, but still held their own.
They threw 1 drone out towards Gravy, identified him, and then just completely rotated off the garage. That's a big pickup. A Viper for a Vezin. Gets another rifle into the hands of Restart. 5 alive to the 4 of Aspect, and the kits are starting to become comparable as Aspect gets damaged big. Gravy comes flying out for a double kill down the stairs. It absolutely resets the tone. They get a triple, they get a quadra. They're looking for the ace now. After 4, they're barreling towards Vibey here, who's tucked in, and they'll find the ace. Will they? No. Grouchy steals it, and Gravy is not happy that was
Gravy literally throwing their hands up like, what are you doing? That was an ace for me.
Well, you know, we love to see the creator representation there. Gravy, one of the VRML creators. They've helped a lot in the postseason in particular when we brought them on for a lot of the highlight reels that you saw before some of those interviews. And so a shout out to Gravy. I don't think they got their due, but they definitely did help out a lot in that postseason with that content. And man, what a solid near ace for Gravy. Not quite the full 5-piece, but certainly still a huge swing back. And I said they avoided Gravy, but maybe a little bit too much, because they clearly came barreling down the stairs behind them to great success.
I mean, Restart, they got to watch some of these angles, because it's consistently been happening where A3 has those deep roamers that are just getting so much value there. And I was about to say I don't think it was going to work off Old Gravy, because they probably went for a different side switch up. But I mean, that doesn't mean that Gravy can't themselves also switch up and try to get some value in the back there. Anyways, early round, the frag coming out right there, knocking some health off of that Restart player, but not quite getting a pick yet from Restart. Trying to get some shots in there on that garage, and might be able to get a shot off on Old Gravy, the almost ace player from last round. But that does give now a disadvantage to A3. But again, they are definitely no stranger to utilizing that disadvantage and working things out, as Angel's able to get a pick off themselves against Maestro. As Restart is trying their best to get to push in, but they're struggling to get on even onto the map.
Yeah, this Aspect team is really throwing them off with these different locations. Gravy roaming, and now Angel getting aggressive, denying them even the ability to rotate in here. And what a nade from Angel as they bounce it off of the ledge and just bowl it barely over the corner to find the kill. Holy cow, that's one to research, but that was beautiful. They catch 2 kills out that window, and Aspect lose 2 defenders, so it's even 3-3.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that Aspect's playing so deep. Like, deep all, because remember, this is all on the second floor. The fact that Angel's already on the third floor getting so many deep picks is crazy. And I think, you know, Garage with some early picks on here from Restart. But things just aren't quite working out in their favor. But I think Hope Clifford trying to potentially catch up one of the A3 players running around. But, I mean, time is counting down. Restart has to make some kind of... Never mind, Angel getting another shot off in the back there. And I don't know what's going on in Angel, but they are literally reading people's minds right now.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely denying entry from Restart outside of that main A lobby. And Clifford finds a unique little dangle down through that window and catches a kill, but it's a 1v2 still. Player advantage into Aspect and time ticking down. A minute left on the clock, and Clifford's going to start to rotate over towards B. They're going to open up B side as Jess hears the foam go down. They start their pre-fire routine. Don't catch any damage, and so it's a full health Hope Clifford trying to clutch this 1v2 up.
Yeah, I think Hope Clifford trying to get someone just slightly out of position here as they're going all over, trying to get some shots. So maybe going in for a save. I think it's 30 seconds out. I guess they're going for a weird reset. Okay, yeah, they're going for a reset up the staircase, probably going for potentially a push on A side. They do have the EMP in hand, so they can go in for the reset, I think. As I'm waiting to see.
15 seconds, though. Time isn't going to allow it.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to go for a reset and maybe just hold out for a save at the end there. Or maybe they weren't aware of the time. Yeah.
5 seconds left, and so the round is going to go into Aspect's hands. Clifford going to try and carry this rifle through with them because, frankly, Restart's economy is not in a stellar spot. I think this was only a 3-rifle buy. It's interesting to see this push now, and they'll catch a kill for their troubles. They won't get picked up on the rotation, and a little bit of cheeky damage done to Aspect's economy there in the final moments before we transition into the prep phase for round 5.
Yeah, I mean, again, A3 now back in the lead, decisively, 3-1. And I always say, like, if you have a strong defensive advantage on Hideout, you're probably going to be in a really good spot coming into the attacking side. We saw A3's attack, at least for one or two rounds in the previous map, and it is aggressive. And for a map like Hideout, that is the map to have that kind of attack.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It is. Well, again, Aspect looking strong right now, starting to get in some into a groove. Restart started with a great pistol set and have been fighting hard here on this second map on Hideout. You can see when we showed that KDs, a couple more kills have been coming through for the Restart side in these early rounds, and that's always a true tell sign of if you do have a solid back and forth in a series. And, well, again, map 2 certainly has been better for Restart, but they'll want more than just one on the offensive set. And they've got an opportunity here with the full buy, the four rifle and Taurus buy to make some magic happen. It's just a matter of how do they get past the initial line of defense. They have to do a little bit of scout work to some success, and Grouchy Gizmo's tucked in, hoping that drone doesn't identify him. It will spot them, though, and the Canutt will get rid of it. But where is the defense held up? Look at Solo tucked into this back corner. They're really off-meta positions.
Yeah, I think that's what A3 is doing really well against Restart, just really being in the most odd angles. I'm probably not expecting it or being ready for it. But anyways, we're seeing a push now from Restart, getting some pushing on this family room balcony, and I'm wondering if Solo is going to be able to get some value down there as they are waiting in the corners, waiting for something to happen. They got a one piece there off of Aviator Nick, and Gravy, and never mind Hope Clifford for another shot off on Gravy there. Now leaving it down to a 2v2 right now, and it's still looking a little bit solid for never mind. Grassy Gibbs going out wide with the shotgun, now leaving it down to Aviator Nick in the back.
Yeah, they took a little time to rotate up to the second floor, and in that time, they lost control of the A-site lobby. Gizmo with the Canutt catches one, but it's still Aviator here on this top floor, and Grouchy has to rotate all the way around. So depending on the timing, Nick could fly in here. And oh no, they can't with door blocker and trip mines galore defending their entry point. All the utility paying dividends there and ultimately locking Aspect in for their 4th round on Hideout on the defensive set. That is the worst way, I think, to end around Martini, to go down from a trip mine or a utility
like it hurts your soul. It just hurts your soul when you see that happen. I think it hurts anyone's soul, let alone the last player.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show that like there's just so much commotion and happening, and Restart knew that they had to keep that pressure up, but unfortunately, the bad thing about pressure sometimes is you got to be very methodical about it too. Otherwise, you can run into things like utility. And A3, man, they're just keeping that pressure up, And even when I think things are about to work in Restart's favor, A3 has a plan for that. You know, there's always something. That's what I like about what I'm seeing from A3. Like, even if it goes bad, there's always still something kind of to fall back on. And they consistently come back from things not working out in their favor.
Yeah, they are very good at weathering that adversity. I think that's maybe why they are able to fight against a top-tier team like Acer, is because you really have to be able to fight in those. You have to be able to clutch. I think is the real big determining factor here. And so far, Restart haven't really been able to get a good start going for themselves in a lot of these rounds. So we'll see if they can get something going here. Into round number 6 on the attack. They've got, I would argue, maybe a preferred offensive objective to be pushing, but obviously you have several avenues of concern, especially with a team like Aspect getting as aggressive as they are. You got to worry about the peek out of the window from Solo. You got to worry about anyone getting aggressive out the doorways here, and already a push in. Angel's trying to hold things down in this tight corner as the drone scans and identifies Angel maybe tucked in. Yeah, they definitely have to have spotted them there, and Angel does fly for the kill, but a nice read from Maestro scoops up one. The door blocker, a key piece of utility to defend this long hallway that makes it very hard to push. Maestro finds why. Goes down to some good kills there, and here comes the push into the site. Vibey and Aviatronics. There's finally Solo springing their trap, but doesn't connect on any solid kills, and so it won't be to fruition. Where is the EMP is the question. It's on Shimmy Marui, who finally gets inside as the rest of the team waits for the EMP to get planted, and Nick flies in for another kill, getting aggressive on that rotation. They still have to worry about Old Gravy through the wall as the EMP planter gets denied the EMP plant.
Yeah, I mean, look at Gravy, and so never mind. Aviator Nick with a shot off on Gravy there, and Solo will finish it up. But unfortunately, Aviator Nick there with the refrag, getting Restart another round in the pocket. They're probably feeling a little bit better about that first attacking half, but it's still looking a little hard as they now have to defend against A3's attacking side. And I'd be a little scared about them. We saw such an aggressive attack in a previous map, and I'm hoping that we see that same aggression, if not more, on Hideout.
Yeah, that was a solid solo attempt there. They flew out the window, almost picked up the double kill, but, you know, Restart is a top-tier team. It's not just because they lost map 1 7-1 and Aspect are looking good. You know, it's worth reminding yourselves that, and ultimately I think that Aspect's being reminded that Restart is a team, at least in the top 10, potentially in the top 10 this season, and a team that they very well could be facing off against again, depending on how their season unfolds. So solid 2 points for Restart to that point, and they now get their chance at defending and holding things down. So we could see a bit of a more even map number 2 as we get back into things for our back half of this map. We swap sides and reset economy as we normally do in the Game of Breachers.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how A2 decides to approach this. They know that Restart is a team that they are winning against very definitively, but there's definitely a team that you don't want to play too relaxed because they have been getting those wins. They have a couple of wins in the pocket. Never mind, Grouchy gets going wide with that shot. With a pull in and get Hope Clipper with a beautiful frag on that corner, but Gravy there for the cleanup. But never mind, Jimmy Marui with a beautiful 2-piece on the frag. It's looking hard right now as A3's attack has been shut down to a halt.
Where is Angel at right now? Jess alone here. Angel finally vaulting in. And it's a 2v3 in a matter of seconds. The utility absolutely paying dividends. And we'll see What is Aspect going to do here on this push? Is Angel going to be able to clutch things up and continue to pile on to their overall kills so far this series? Jess will find Maestro tucked into a tight corner, and it's a low HP defense that'll succeed in holding things down and coming closer to a tie here. 3-4, map 2. Big pistol round right there, Martini. It sets them up to go and invest hard here on defense, no less. It's right where they need to be.
I mean, we saw them get that early pistol win in the previous round too, right? Didn't quite work out for them in on round 2 and 3, but again, we've talked about this getting that first early round win on pistol, especially going into a round 2 on the defending side, is usually a pretty solid place to be starting, because you're defending these positions, you're having the Vezin in hand, and we definitely know it's really hard to push up against a Vezin, even with the Spectral in hand, especially I think someone's rocking a Jesper. It's gonna be a little difficult. Not an impossibility. We've seen these top tier teams get those picks, but we just know it's a little bit harder when you're going up against a Vezin, when you're not equally matched, right?
We saw several eco rounds won in the postseason.
That was that's always crazy.
I know. And then it's if anything something that can happen at the high tier in particular, because that's really where you see the players exceptionally skilled with the pistols, so skilled that there's still a threat with them. That, and of course the solid utility plays can really separate a top tier team from the rest, and we'll have to see how this offense is going to push in on their eco round up against 2 Vezins and lots of utility on the defense.
Yeah, I'm seeing a very deep attack. I've really never seen, I think, a Hideout attack that's so careful, methodical, especially from a team like A3. We've seen them play very aggressive on the attack. Maybe they decided to really mix things up, which is good. You want to, force Restart to be thinking, how are they going to attack? Are they going to attack, aggressive every single time? And I think a team that's really good at dictating that attacking flow really throws out the enemy team for a whirl, because they don't quite know how you're going to approach it, and that's what we're seeing here. A3 probably playing a little bit slower than I'm expecting them to be honest.
Yeah, I think the goal was to try and find an over-aggressive roamer and snag their weapon in the hopes that maybe it was a Vezin or something like that. At the very least, get yourself an early advantage and deny that roam, because when you get an advantage like this, when you have an economy advantage, you have that luxury of maybe losing a player early or not to an over-aggressive position. That can pay dividends, like we saw it pay dividends for Aspect in the last round. So I think that if anything, they're just attacking against their own defensive style, which is something you see a lot of at the high tier. As Aspect finally get over to A, and Aviator Nick opens up things with the first kill on the round.
That was probably the most quiet, I think, minute and a half I've ever seen from the game. Anyways, never mind. Still getting a shot off on Aviator Nick as they try to get that entry now leaving a 3-4 for A3 side. Now looking good again. This attack has not been working out for A3 so far. But a double frag coming out and knocking down Angel. I don't know if you saw that double frag, but that was hilarious. I did not expect that.
Solo flies through the smoke and goes down, and Grouchy Gizmo's alone in a 1v3 as Restart absolutely overwhelm Aspect trying to push in. And a static emitter going to be the mortal enemy of Gizmo. But they're not going to give away their position to destroy it. They're going to take the 10 or 15 damage and try and develop this flank behind the rest of Restart.
Yeah, I don't see it happen too often, but sometimes players are willing to take, the couple ticks of health in order to get that kind of stealth advantage. And it's happened, I think it's worked out to great effect sometimes if no one's there to kind of get that drop in on you. But never mind, Maestro's there for the drop on them in the back as that stealth play doesn't quite work out. And I don't know, I thought I was going to see some crazy aggressive attack from A3, but I'm not seeing that, and it's not working out for them right now.
It's definitely the eco round off of losing the pistol, so now we should see mostly rifles coming through for Aspect on the attacking side, and it's all even, 4-4. The economy advantage definitely lies in Restart's favor right now. This back half has been going good for them, but Aspect might have a chance to finally find another round, or at least their first round on offense. They have not done that yet, and it only took 1 or 2 for Restart to potentially get themselves into a very solid position. We could see them take this map and push us to a map 3 decider at this rate.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm expecting A3 to still kind of come out of this, and I'm hoping that maybe the last 2 rounds with them kind of just trying to figure out how does Restart have their defense, how do they play it, and how do we kind of play against them. Because we've seen A3, I think, consistently be able to readjust their strategy and play well against a team. And I'm hoping we can see that sort of thing here, but that's not to discount, you know, Restart being able to hold their own now against A3. Maybe they just needed to warm up. You know, that first map was a little bit rough for them, but they finally kind of seemed to really find their stride in his upcoming map, well, in his current map.
Yeah, they definitely have woken up, and we'll see if they can keep that momentum on their side here as the lobby gets overtaken. A little scouting comes through to identify a door blocker and a static emitter on a standard EMP placement position, and Shimmy Marui will deny any more info from being gathered from that drone as Shimmy hears the grappling hook audio, an indicator that someone could be considering swinging down through that window. So they have eyes on, and there very much is Angel there ready and waiting to try and spring this trap. It's going to be all about Aspect syncing things up and overwhelming them with a push from one edge to the next. Every corner has to be applied with pressure at the same time, because right now Restart is holding things down quite well, but there's the first pick. Hope Clifford goes down on the window hold.
Yeah, I think Hope Clifford probably was trying to push a little bit forward and trying to get a pick off and trying to make things work out, but didn't quite happen in their favor. Anyway, shots going live right now between both sides on that A site. As Old Grave trying to get some picks off from their side right now, but a free out going live and doesn't quite land on anyone right now. But Restart is holding down A3 right now, but A3 is pretty wide on their attack. I don't know if you noticed there are players both on A side and towards the B side, potentially going for a flank. Asking to plant off as Old Grave gets a shot off on Maestro finally, but that frag has come out and it's definitely shown Grouchy Gizmo the side of the wall.
Still, though, EMP has planted, so now the offense can tuck back and defend against the EMP defuse, and 40 seconds is on the clock for this defense to rotate around. Jess is preventing Aviatronics from rotating, Aviator Nick from rotating, and everyone else is holding down EMP. Vibey's not going to find easy access to that EMP, and the time continues to tick down. They are running out of it to defuse.
Yeah, you did a really good job at holding off the roamers. Never mind, still getting a shot off on Aviator Nick. Now leaving it down to 5 as they're stuck in the corner, getting a pick off, though, able to knock down another player. But Old Gravy is there to finish that one up and clean it up for A3 side, giving them another round in the pocket, and finally give them back on that lead after they've been kind of on the back heel for a couple rounds.
Regaining control for sure on the Aspect side as they start to look, well, now the economy a little bit better for them. Still, actually, though, really, because they lost 2, they're not in a great spot. In comparison, of course, Restart able to just afford 3, 4 rifles. So
I think maybe they're doing attachments. I don't know, but they're not in the worst spot. They're definitely not all pistols, right?
Right. Yeah, they're able to at least defend against this Aspect team, and Aspect again has a very solid economy now, so even if they lose this round, the next one they'll be able to put up a strong kit as well. So momentum is everything right now, and if Aspect just put 2 more on the board, they've got themselves the entire series locked in. Map 1 on Arctic went 7-1 in their favor, and they started actually losing here, and Restart took the lead, so Restart now losing that lead, looking to retake it here on a defensive set, and Clifford finds a 1-for-1 trade out the early window there.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get a really cheeky angle there, and it did work out, but unfortunately they weren't ready for a follow-up kill, as I was able to knock him out. Now it looks like A3 trying to get a push in. They're definitely a lot different of a push that we saw earlier in this half when you're going on the same floor here. They were so slow, being very stealthy, but now they're a little bit more loud, going a little bit more direct to sight and ready to attack him. Anyways, Solo going in now on storage, ready to push in and potentially pinch on B side. And I think, never mind, Old Grave getting a shot off from that hatch, getting a good amount of value from a really solid angle, but they probably were not ready for that. But I think Aviator is going to be coming out here, potentially trying to get some roaming picks.
B is wide open, the hatch, the holes on both sides. Not going to be easy to hold things down here for the trio. And you see Aviator Nick actually rotating up the stairs. They're going to try and get rid of Gravy or find the back of this defense through the hatch here. This could be a great hatch drop that could really catch them by surprise, as Vibey does catch Gravy on the stairs. Down they go as the EMP gets planted, and this is a great defensive hold. Solo able to shut things down for a moment on the reload, then swings for Vibey, but Vibey finds that kill. Takes it into a 1v3 as Angel gets ticked down, and Restart somehow take back a 3-5 disadvantage. What a stellar rotation from them to go up the stairs. Absolutely surprising, this Aspect offense, Martini. That was a huge round, and well, now it's anyone's game. Economies are basically even, and everyone's gonna have to partially buy here.
Yeah, I mean, that hatch play that they actually had used a little bit early on for A3 did work out for them in that favor to take over that sword side, but the only bad thing about some of those ceiling hatches that are still reachable by roamers, they stay open, and those roamers, if they know it's open, they're gonna utilize them. And that's exactly what we saw there. I think they literally waited until someone was going for a plant, and that didn't quite work out for A3 when they made that attack. I was kind of shocked that they make the plant there. I thought they would have played it a little bit more on the side, which a lot of teams tend to do because it gives them a really good post plant, like defending position. But I guess I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of shocked. I expected a little bit more, but maybe Restart's just doing really good on the defensive side, and I'm just not really acknowledging that because I expected more aggression from A3 side. It just hasn't quite worked out for them in this attacking half. And honestly, Restart, they just need one more round in the pocket, and we're looking at a map 3.
Yes, indeed. They just need one more to take us to that third map to decide our series, and Gizmo opens things up with an early kill onto Nick. That's definitely one way to start things, is Nick will not be able to hold down the outside of B, and they'll really be able to get some good control as Clifford able to find a key refrag to even things up to a 4v4.
Yeah, I think Ratchet Gizmo trying to get a shot off there, but unfortunately gets knocked out by Restart's players, and they're holding down this B side, just shooting every potential spot that they could imagine right now. And I believe H is probably going to still be going in. Never mind, the frag coming out live, and Jess is stuck in the corner, but does somehow still survive that. And shots are just still going crazy. Someone's trying to get a wall bang here, and I'm excited to see how this attack progresses. But it's Restart is holding him down to a hold right now. They're just holding him down. Never mind, Vibey getting a shot on old Gravy there, and now leaving a 3v4. This is never mind. Shimaru gets another pick up solo, leaving it down to Jess and Angel. And I mean, Jess is literally, you can toss him over and they'll die.
If that nade had gone through the window, it would have, or that doorway, it would have killed Jess. And now, yeah, I think it's the call to Eco because they don't want to lose the map. If they lose this round, it'll be, like you said, guaranteeing us to a third. But they could lose the map too. They could lose 2 rounds in a row, and it would be obviously worse than just tying, because then if they tie this map, they can't. They can't lose. They can only tie or win. So it's definitely a very different scenario if they're able to come out on top here. And interestingly enough, Angel is going to push in into A site. There's 2 tucked in and waiting. Maestro goes down, and Angel's not ready for Clifford on the backside.
Yeah, they probably tried to play it very sneaky and thought they were on a really good side. But, I mean, yeah, 4 players up. You got to expect them to be on some weird off angle, right? And I'm not, to your point, I thought they were shocked that they weren't going for both of them for a save. Because now they're down to Vezin in the upcoming round.
It's going to be another 25 seconds of waiting, and the round, the round is going to be going into Restart's pocket. We are going to be headed to a third map, but the question is will that third map be performed as well as this one was by Restart? Because Aspect came in strong on Arctic, and they've fought hard here on Hideout, but I feel like maybe Restart's warmed up. So map 3... we could be in store for another
It might be the same thing. Who knows? It might be a 6-6 or a 7-5, depending on how this one comes out.
Yeah, True,
Right.
true. This still could be 7-5, in which case we'll have that map 3 decider. I suppose if it ties, then it's a tie on the series, but still, it's a chance here for Restart to lock in a map win. If they can just hold down against this Aspect team, they have really come alive. They've really looked a lot more coordinated. Their utility placement has been fantastic. Their usage has been fantastic. I feel like they're starting to react a lot, or they're able, rather, to react a lot better to the Aspect team on this map. It almost feels like maybe on Arctic, they just weren't quite as ready with that map knowledge in comparison to the Aspect team, which to me is an indicator of, off-season research and off-season homework, right? It means that this Aspect team made sure that they practiced up on their strategies on Arctic and really have come into Season 2 maybe with even Arctic being a preferred map for that Aspect team.
I mean, the fact that they won so decisively, that might be a specialty for them. But I guess we'll have to find out, right, when it comes into this upcoming season. Yeah, I don't know. I like, it feels almost like night and day, between map 1 and map 2. I would have bet on a two map win for the series, but looks like that might not be the case here anymore. Well, it's no longer the case.
Yeah.
As the best that they can get is a tie, and at worst, a loss.
Taking a look at the drone here as it susses out some info, and Clifford catches a kill through the wall. That's definitely a nice start. 4v5 out the gate. Drone gets denied, but Gravy does manage to get across and tucked in. They'll be able to eventually get rid of that door blocker and open up B site.
Yeah, Adrian definitely looked a little bit more disheveled, I would say, from the previous rounds. As things already not working out, and Angel being able to knock out Angel is a huge plus for Restart side, especially because it's now a 4v5 advantage of one of their players. Anywhere just in solo getting a shot off on site already, and behind the corner trying to hold it down, but never mind to get picked up from Solo in the long angle. And Grouchy Gizmo finishing that up, but now leaving it down to Maestro and Barry back in the hallway. And they are playing aggressive on that defense. They are not going to let them come in and let them breathe. And that's a good thing, I think, for the defense. Is working out for them. But at this point, imagining what is Maestro thinking in their mind? How do they approach this? Can they push in?
This could be the 6-6 map 2, as EMP's planted, and the Aspect bounced back just a little bit too late. They had done this a few rounds earlier. They could have had the whole series done by now, but we've got to fight for it for one more map, and Maestro has to get rid of 2 defenders who are going to wait for that EMP defusal to go before they do peek up, and Maestro gets aggressive on that knowledge. Starts to push them on defense. Jess doesn't want to get caught by a window swing, but Maestro has to rotate back for an EMP defuse soon. And time will be the friend of Aspect, and they will take the round. That was awfully close, but it does go to a full tie for map number 2, 6-6. As if this Aspect team hasn't had enough of these already.
Enough ties. Season. I would be angry. I would just be angry at the time.
There's got to be like a record that's going to be coming up. Like something we have to track. But I really do wonder what team has the most 6-6 wins or 6-6 maps in a season. I can guarantee you Aspect's leading that right now with 4 ties so far in Season 2. And, well, now they have to worry about the possibility of a second tie in their regular season. That would, to start your season with 2 ties, I don't know if that's the ideal start in your season, but they have that. That's possible for Aspect right now if they're not careful. And I'm very curious how map 3 is going to shake out, or even what it is, if it's going to be Skyscraper or Factory for our decider.
I mean, they already got the first round win, like map win. So really, at this point, they just need a tie, and then they want 2 ties and a win. That does go in favor of A3. But I don't know. I'm just shocked. It really does feel like night and day between some of the gameplay, and I'm wondering if just A3's strategy just wasn't quite working against Restart's defense. or even attacking side. But wow, like credit to Restart. That's
Yeah.
much. That's a like I know coming into map 2 with that sort of loss sometimes just really takes a toll on the mental, and some teams really just can't bounce back. You know, A3 we've seen them bounce back so many times from things happening in the first map. You know, I would say they're clutch. A lot of them are clutch artists, right? But we didn't quite see the same thing in that map 2, and I wasn't sure if it was maybe just it feels like Restart might have just been more put together and was able to hold down, fight against A3 pretty effectively, and things worked out, in their favor several times. I think there were several rounds that really did feel like Restart was just kind of, a strong advantage for them.
Yep. And while we wait for map 3, a quick shout out to Triangle Factory, the developers of Breachers, for supporting season 2 and also supporting flights for our North American finalists. The first and second placed finalists will be flown out and get hotel rooms as well to attend VRML Con and play live on stage for their North American finals. It's a incredible opportunity that we're super excited to offer up for not just Breachers, but also Veil, Onward, and X8. And so there's going to be multiple communities coming together to watch their season finals live on stage July 20th and 21st in Denver, Colorado. You can buy tickets right now on the website. And we got to get ready for our third map, which if you're attentive, you'll see is going to take us to Skyscraper. And it's Skyscraper to wrap us up here. We were seeing some love emojis getting thrown out by Aspect. Not emoji, but with the hands, the love hands getting thrown out there, leading us into this round. They're happy to be on camera for the second time this season, and we are going to swap sides on the teams because Restart are starting on the attacking side on Skyscraper, and this pistol round means quite a lot for this Restart offense.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Skyscraper being, I think, more defender-oriented and just some of the roaming plays. We've seen A3 do really, really effective on that roaming kind of setup. I think this is the perfect map for them to really hold it down and shut down Restart, especially with such a strong performance from them on map 2. The fact that they were able to push this into a tie for both sides is a lot of credit to them. And it was just in the corner, getting flashed out with a frag and getting shot down, but it'll go there for a shot back on Maestro in the back end there. And Restart getting a really good foothold on this bathroom, but they are still fighting some problems here. But anyways, Aviator Nick getting a shot off on Old Gravy. They were not expecting that angle there from that courtyard.
Crouchy Gizmo will catch one through the vents there, and Shimmy really getting scooped up in the back. A bit of a rotation, ending up pinching the bathroom push, and Vibey has to rotate out. Aviator Nick not quite on objective, and Restart lose their early advantage just like that.
And now the EMP is down and away from Restart's hand, so they also have to retake the EMP to make something work or get the picks off. But I mean, look at A3. They're just setting up in that bathroom. They're fully aware that the EMP is down, and they're going to do their best to hold it down there.
No reason to go anywhere else. It's going to decide the round, and they'll eventually have to push towards it. So it's only a matter of time. With the minute 15 on the clock, there's a lot of it. And Angel may find a Taurus headshot there. The one-handed wizard scooping up a big kill. And Solo looking for the last one on the board as Vibey's all that Restart have left to try and win up against this. They heard the grappling hook and maybe could have vaulted out looking for the kill, but Vibey will get to that top floor and be safe for at least a few moments. 50 seconds left. How long do they have to rotate and to where is my question, and it looks like they're going to try and push over towards Grouchy Gizmo now.
Yeah, I think Grouchy Gizmo definitely expecting and probably hearing Vibey getting a little shot out there. I'm just waiting to see if anyone's going to poke in on this little corner. Never mind, they just did that exactly. And Grouchy Gizmo does a little cheeky peek out to be able to shoot out Vibey from behind, giving 8-3 that first round win. And I mean, that's a good advantage for them, right? They come in, they have aggressive roamers, they'll have people on site potentially with those Vezins. It's looking good. But I will say, considering last map, you never know.
Yep. Yeah, it looks to set us up, or set Aspect up for. Oh, what's going on here?
Just pointing out their Vezins.
Yeah, I think we're shaming the non VRML skin. Maybe, I don't know.
You know, if I did have that skin, I would be showing it off. I'd be showing it off too.
They didn't put it up the right way though. The finalist word and graphic is on the other side of the gun. It's not on both sides.
Wait. So how does the? I don't know if you happen to know more details about VRMLCon, but like, do we do casting live too? How does that like?
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole community effort. Yep. Well, hopefully, folks that are going to attend the event will be able to also volunteer, and we'll be putting out applications and all of that. So, yeah, if you're going to go to the convention, then maybe we could have you casting for some of those games. But I'll definitely, obviously, be there, so I'll be casting, and I think a few other folks are intending to attend. So, yeah, it's going to be a community effort as usual, and like I said, more info on how to apply and all of that should be coming next week.
Exciting. I didn't go to. I think it was a VRMLCon a year or two ago, and I didn't go to that.
Last year, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to go. It's going to be a really fun. I think one thing we haven't touched a lot on is just the community meetup element of it, and getting able to see all of your friends and meet everybody and hang out and watch your favorite game played live on stage. It's going to be a tremendous amount of fun. Is a nice opening here for Aspect. Grouchy on the backside almost catches a big nade, does get a lot of damage down onto this restart team as a whole, but doesn't find any additional kills with that frag.
I'm shocked. I thought that grenade was almost immediately on him. That would have been a three-piece. Yeah. And that would have been a beautiful three-piece to watch there. But anyway, Solo with that Vezin able to knock down Shimi Marui as they were not ready for that. Another. Oh. I thought that was A3's grenade. I really did. But doesn't matter. Maestro was able to get that shot off with that frag and able to knock down just for the count. Now leaving a 3-3. And again, Restart just, I'll say like A3 has gotten that first round win, but look at this. Restart's still a lot closer than it was in map one. Map one, there was like several rounds where it came down to 3 or 4 players on Aspect side easily.
Minute left on the clock, and Restart with half HP on 2 of the 3 players left, up against Rifles that are still tucked in and defending. Not going to be an easy task. They need really all the health they can get to contest against some rifle users here. So Vibey may be the point in leading the charge here to try and get rid of those rifle users. The foam is down. The plan is set, and Solo's getting a little aggressive, trying to peek out that doorway, looking for something, but not finding much. If they go any farther, they could run into Maestro on the other side, but they don't overextend.
Yeah, I mean, Vibey is literally on the edge of getting shot several times over. I'm surprised none of the random shots might have shot them. But anyways, on the back, and I don't know if you noticed that, they actually have one of Restart's players coming in for the flank. And it's about to work out for them, but never mind. Grouchy gets able to shot off, but Vibey able to come in and knock out Solo themselves. Still leaving a 2-2 between A3 and Restart.
Yeah, they managed to get in, get the EMP plant down. The Vezins come storming through, though, and they'll lock the round win in. Grouchy Gizmo wanted to get the defuse and is upset Gravy's going to get the defuse stat instead of them. But it's 2 points out the gate on Aspect's side. But it is Skyscraper, and it tends to be defensive-sided. You know, we talked about Arctic. We talked about that in Arctic a little bit. Skyscraper, of all the maps, you very rarely see more than 1 or 2 offensive rounds getting secured, and I think we saw it actually swapped. I saw that we saw that that standard advantage swapped in the postseason. I think we saw offensive rounds getting won on this map, but nonetheless,
I mean, I think some of these teams just really knew how to approach and attack Skyscraper, and the thing is, if you know how the defenders tend to defend Skyscraper, you can build around that, and that's why it's kind of cool seeing the meta build up. But there's ways to then start fighting against that, and then do you like how do you adjust? How do you kind of do this on the fly? And that's what I like seeing about these top tier teams. Like they can't, like some of them really do just kind of keep forcing this through and trying to make it happen. But the truly great ones are able to adjust and kind of make those little adjustments to make things work out just a little bit better in their favor because they tend to know how they're going to attack or defend or whatever.
See that Quadcast S on display there from HyperX Martini. It's looking good, sounding good this afternoon.
Yeah, I've been using this Quadcast for a full season, and I guess now second season now, and I remember literally day one of using the Quadcast because I used to use the mic for my headphones. Someone was like, "Hey, your audio is better." I noticed, and I was like, "What the heck?" It was like the first cast, and I was like, "How did you notice?"
A substantial difference in quality, that's for sure. As the smoke comes in here, that should deny vision from a potential flanker, but not for a long time. You have to push forward fast, and in a series of trades back and forth, we end into a 4v4, and Old Gravy not overextending through that smoke and staying patient on this defense here, really waiting for Restart to push all the way out before they spring their trap. And I wonder if Nick spotted Gravy in this tight corner. I don't think they did as they drop down into the line of sight. Gravy will get picked up quickly, though, with a great shot from a very interesting angle on the roof, on the top of that little awning there. Maestro finds that refrag, keeps things even 3-3.
I mean, Maestro consistently has gotten some weird off-angle picks in his current round. Some of them I'm like, I don't know how that even worked out, but I mean, good for you that you're getting those picks off. And at this point, he's trying to rest to hold down the restart, and they have been holding them back, but the attack on side is finally happening. But Hope Clifford knocking out. Grouchy gives them that little corner, now leaving it down to the two players on the A3 side. They're trying their best to hold this one out. Now Maestro on site. I'm surprised that no one saw him, but it's a good sneak from them.
A huge nade. Clifford goes half HP, and there's two here at A site. Solo's going to rotate around from the backside, and plenty of time for Restart to plant the EMP at A.
Yeah, I think Solo now a little bit on side, ready to get this push in, but they're probably going to go for the plant on the corner, which is totally expected now. I think it's down to Solo. Can they hold this down? Can they make things work out? But Maestro goes in for the pick and is able to swing that and get knocked out. Solo down for the count. And the first round win from Restart on the attacking side here. I'm wondering if they can get a couple more rounds in the pocket and I don't know, maybe get their own win, right? Maybe force this into a tie for A3, or maybe we'll see another tie for this current map.
We could, and if it does go into another tie, it would be a win for Aspect on the series. So really only one way for Restart to benefit from this map, and it's to win this final map so that they tie the overall series itself. They still have a bit of ways to go, as we are just halfway through our first half of this map, and an interesting bit of an economic swap off of that last round in particular, as A3 are in a bad spot going into this fourth round. Only one rifle to really fend off what is a fully kitted Restart offense.
Yeah, they're definitely ready to make this kind of push in, but if A3 does lose this, they'll be having that consecutive loss, right? So they'll be getting a lot more money in the pocket, and things will work out a lot better for them, right? Into this upcoming round. But I mean, there's nothing. Again, we talked about it. Economy advantages, they're great, but they're not the end all be all, right? Especially against a team like A3. Shots coming in on a restart. I think there's a frag that might have happened. I didn't quite see what happened there. But looks like the A3 squad is definitely spread out. Got Angel again on that back half, trying to go in for that roaming play against Restart. And I think Restart's taking a little bit longer to make this push in. Being a little more careful because they want to make sure that every round matters, right? It
really does, as they are taking their time. They wisely so, though. They're trying to read the style of Aspect that they've been going up against so far every round, really, where they do extend their defense out a little bit and get aggressive on the initial entry points from time to time. So it's right for them to be cautious. It also is right outside of A site, so pretty standard to see defenders that will hold from these window entries. The real big take is going down the stairs and then gaining control of this floor and entering in from both sides, which is going to be the goal here of this restart team. Just a matter of time. With a minute 35 left, they will eventually be working their way down, and timing is everything here as that immolation nade goes out. Just trying to stall this team from rotating in and reinforcing the duo that's pushed through the windows. They're alone in their efforts to pinch, and they don't have the support of Maestro or Aviator Nick. They're able to drop back and defend, and just like that, Aspect turn the tide and take the advantage. Angels slowly creeping and crawling up behind this offense and could be devastating to them if they're not careful. They do have Maestro holding things down, but they're going to be distracted quickly here as the push does come through. A 1-for-1 exchange benefits Aspect more, and Angel slowly but surely swings the corner for Maestro. Almost all of their HP, but not all of it, and the duo survives.
Sorry, I was just seeing Maestro's health. Literally 1 health to their name. 1 health to their name, but A3 doesn't know that. They're not going to push out. They know they got Bezins in hand, but it's still not the worst. They have a couple... never mind. The A3 players have a couple of Bezins in hand themselves now, and things are looking a little bit more in their favor. As RE.START has a huge health disadvantage right now.
Don't think they have any syringes available to heal up Maestro either, so it's really just going to be the health bars they have to push in, and Solo somehow surviving that onslaught from Shimmy Marui, and Marui not getting tagged either. The duo is still alive. It almost would be better to hold on to the rifles, which seems to be the call after the clock almost ticks to 0. With 5 seconds left, they both rotate out and do take their rifles into the next round.
Man, I mean, 1 health, 1 in 49. They somehow. I'll say this, like, I think one of the cool things I've seen when you play against some top, because, like, you know, I've played against some of these top tier players in games. I think one of the biggest markers is not just how well they can shoot or get those picks off, but it's their survivability. Even when I somehow you know, have to jump on them, they somehow always have a backup plan for when things hit the fan, right? And they somehow survive it still. And that right there, it just goes to show how well how good their survivability is for RE.START, considering they can manage 1 health against A3 and get off site and still have that save is, I think, crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is almost a net benefit off of that round. But 2 rifles and a Maru, yeah, I don't know. Is it really going to be enough at the end of the day? Who knows? Would it have been better to find an extra kill or 2? Maybe get rid of one of those rifles in the hands of your opponent. You know, that's the great question, the great mystery, the great what-if game you can play all day at the end of a series. But regardless, it really feels like Aspect now are retaking things, and I guess we could really continue to swing back and forth. The momentum almost even in my mind between these 2 teams right now.
Yeah, there have been so many times where, I mean, the point difference is getting a little bit bigger, but every round it's felt like a fight for both sides. We've seen, like, consistently people going down left and right, and again, credit to RE.START. They look so different than they did in map 1. They really feel like in form now, and have been consistently holding down A3 side. Anyways, shots going out right now on that staircase as RE.START is trying to fight their way down, and on top of that, applying pressure on that little radio room too. But again, A3, that defense has just been holding it down and really maximizing the amount of time it takes for the RE.START players to take sight.
Nick is inside, and Solo finds 1. Nick may be able to pick up a refrag, but doesn't extend out onto Grouchy. They're worried about Solo, who did just a nice shimmy entry down through those stairs, and the EMP is down. I don't think Solo has identified the EMP yet, though.
Yeah, they might have been a little quick on that attack and said, hey, I'm going to pull off. I'm a deep roamer. I don't want to overextend this. Because I think it looks like A3 is playing a little bit more serious this time around, being very careful about the picks and deciding to peel off from the enemy side as soon as possible. Even though, again, the roamers on A3 side have been getting so much value, you don't want to overextend that either.
Aspect holding things down here as Solo extended out and really disrupting this RE.START offense, really forcing them to take a pause here on the outside of the objective. And it's been a strategy that's worked well for Aspect this entire series. It really has thrown off RE.START on their attacks multiple rounds so far, and Solo's going to continue to be a threat until they get rid of him in this corner.
I mean, look at it. It's a minute left in the round. Like that's it sounds like a lot still, but they're not even close to sight yet. They still have to deal with the roamer on the back end. And Solo's getting a lot. Never mind, Solo getting a shot off on Bybee there, trying to get another pick on a Hope Clipper, but Maestro is deciding to push this, and Maestro was able to finally get that pick off on Solo. But they definitely did their job of doing some time wasting, as there's now 30 seconds left in the round, and I don't even think they're close to sight yet.
They're a long ways from sight, a long haul, a full sprint, really, which does put you into the crosshairs of a couple of defenders. Old Gravy is tucked in and waiting for this rushed push to come through, because now it does have to be rushed. 17 seconds left.
Yeah, that rush is working out for them. I mean, just getting that long shot on Aviator Nick. Now 10 seconds counting down. You got 4 of A3's players just holding down these deadly angles. And it looks like it's going to be coming down to time, which, you know, I don't see time happen often, but I do appreciate it, because I think that just showcases how much the defending team can really just hold down and just kind of play like a bunker, you know?
I think you can consider it a partial eco there from the final 2 of Restart, as they were certainly aggressive and close to the objective, but didn't end up pushing all the way through, and so they carried their rifles through with them to the next round, and so that sets up Restart into a good enough spot where they should be able to full buy for round 6 here, which is the last round of this half. If they can just get a second point on the board, which is the whole idea of the economy management to get to this point, then they really do have a good chance of tying or winning this third map.
Yeah, I mean, giving A3 that 5-1 going into the second half is, I mean, they just need to accidentally win 2 rounds, and it's game over, right? They don't want that, and not even that. They can accidentally win 1 round, because if they win 6 rounds, then they're fine. It's game, because they have that win from a, you know, one map win and then just tie at best, right?
Yeah.
For restarts. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They only have to get... Yeah, they definitely don't want to let them get to that point where the pistol round could decide it, which is very much where it could be. So it's a big round, again, for Restart here as they pull by in, and Grouchy Gizmo catches an early kill to open things up.
Yeah, now looking already rough for Restart, as I mean, they have a lot of utility ready to be utilized, but unfortunately they have already lost one of their players from A3 side, and again they have to fight down this staircase. They have to be able to fight against these roamers, have to be fighting against these tough angles that A3 has been putting and setting up on Skyscraper. Like, honestly, Skyscraper is looking more like A3's defensive side, and looking a lot better than we had seen them in the previous rounds.
Oh, right as the smoke dissipates, Maestro almost overextended there, almost goes down. Could have been bad news for the Restart offense. They don't want another pick here. They need to start evening the odds just a touch. But again, it's an aggressive aspect now. They're starting to feel the momentum, and they are not going to allow really any entry, I think, from Restart at this point.
Yeah, I always think it's so impressive when a team can just hold a team from just not accessing the map. Like, you know what I mean? The fact that they can be so deep, because the thing is, you have to be like a little bit off-site, a little extended, and they're basically like putting a little force field around the site. Because if you can't even get past this little force field, you can't plant, obviously. And again, I credit to A3's, I would say, time-wasting skills, or at least management. Never mind, Grouchy getting a shot on the back end there with Bybee. As they were not expecting that from them, but Solo picking up another kill. Look at these very deep off-site kills that they're getting right now. As now down to Team Marui, as they almost have to. Never mind, Solo finishing this one up, giving A3 that 5-1 that we were just talking about. That Restart does not want to be doing.
That is, well, series point coming up here now.
Yeah.
For Aspect right now, if they can lock in their pistol round, they will take the series, and we will wrap up the broadcast a lot quicker than maybe Restart were intending, because, man, it has been, again, like you said, a close fight, and they still have an opportunity. They just have to win 6 defensive rounds in a row, and if there's ever a map to do it on, Skyscraper makes that a real possibility. You know, they actually could put up 6 in a row and still take this map, so we're not counting Restart out by any means, especially with how they looked on map 2, how they've been playing here on map 3. I think they've got a shot. And it's just a matter of if they're going to be ready for that Aspect offense, who's been otherwise playing quite coordinated and in sync when they do have the chance to attack.
Yeah, at this point, it's more of can Restart just make as little mistakes as possible, and for A3, it's how many mistakes can we make them? Can we force them to have? Because all we need to do is just win one random round, and we're good. We're good to go home, call it a day. And then they can obviously keep playing because if they want to win it out, that's up to them. But that is us. That is done for us, right, for the series.
And a little drone work to follow in their entry. No Taurus coming in, but a Cyclone from Solo. We still see that Cyclone in rotation. It's still a preference for some players. And Trip Mine. A Trip Mine. You don't see that very often in the early pistol rounds, but there's a Trip Mine and several nades inside of Restart.
Yeah, I love seeing a good trip mine. I think it's hilarious because it's just the ragdoll physics, the body flying. And I think my favorite ragdoll physics, never mind, shots going crazy right now down this hallway from Restart side, but they were able to get shot down by Grouchy Gizmo. Now this radio is being taken over by A3 with this aggressive attack. And it looks like Restart was not ready for this or even expecting it. A3 is totally taking over radio. At this point, they just need to get one more push in and they're directly on site.
Here comes the A push you speak of, the trios here, and they're barreling in. They find 2 kills they need, and it leaves Vibey alone to clutch this up. With 4 alive, the EMP plant comes through, and Vibey is waiting for the aggression of Aspect to at least cost them 1 or 2 lives, but no overextensions into the B site, and Vibey, well, again, a 1v4 is what they need if they want to keep their team alive in the series.
I mean, yeah, at this point with the EMP buff, like for me, if a team's able to get a solid defense and just get that EMP planted, it's almost a guaranteed win at this point, right?
Uh-oh. Aspect smells blood in the water. They've spotted Vibey. EMP's planted, and they are starting to push. They'll find the final kill, and Aspect will lock in a series win on map number 3, 6-1. Final score to be determined, but that's it for us on the broadcast side, at least, as Aspect will lock in their second map of the afternoon and ultimately that full series against Restart. And, I mean, frankly, Aspects, well, they had a tough time on map 2 on Hideout, but
yeah,
they are certainly coming in strong here on maps 1 and 3, and this team is, I think, going to be a team to beat at the top for Season 2.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how A3 kind of continues progressing. Who do they decide to pick up potentially or switch out players, as the season goes on?
Yep.
And who knows, we might be seeing them at VRMLCon. If they keep playing this well, especially against a team like Acer, I would love to see this live. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, Aspect Acer live on stage. That's the real story round, at least for now. Who knows what we'll see with Season 2, though, because there could be some new stars that'll rise to the top, and I look forward.
We might see an upset again. We might see another upset for VRMLCon, because that's what happened in Season 1, the Grand Finals.
Yep. Yeah, it's an exciting time to be getting into the VRML, whether it's Breachers, Veil, X8, or Onward. We encourage you to jump in and enjoy your favorite VR shooter competitively, as much as we enjoy watching it. But I think that will be it for us here on the desk this afternoon. A long evening of Breachers to tune into, and ultimately a great battle back and forth. But a quick shout out to our sponsors, HyperX, ProTube, and Triangle Factory, for supporting the VRML in Season 2. That sponsor list positioned to grow as we get deeper into Season 2, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But for now, we're going to sign off here. My name is Ben Nightfire with 2 E's, my co-caster Martini. We'll see you all potentially tomorrow. I think Gibular Bob's doing a cast tomorrow, but I'm not. But tune in tomorrow for more Breachers. But until then, stay classy. VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager. Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.